Hey everybody, and welcome to another installment, another edition of Work Your Career Wednesday. As always, I'm Bradley Clark, and I am so sorry this is getting out a little late. Totally my fault, but I appreciate your grace and understanding. Get this, we got a great show today. An inventor of a couple medical devices that's making you'll be able to sleep better if you use them. He's an inventor, but he just made some things better. So he's going to be on the show, Dr. Layne Martin. Really excited for him. But let's take care of some business now, and we're going to get to the show soon. If you are anything interested, that's a good one. If you're interested at all in documenting anything having to do with video, you got to get a hold of Steven Saldana. Every week we talk about White Husky Films, and I'm going to tell you the people that we've gotten, that have worked with us, they are so glad they did. I tell you what, we're talking about new stuff too. Billboards in Times Square, if you can believe it. Audio books, I mean, you name it, we're doing it. So get a hold of Steven Saldana. The number is on the screen, or you can always get a hold of us and go to the website, www.whitehuskyfilms.com. Dream, create, record in that order. And when you choose White Husky, you will be added to the number that is so glad they did. And Jane's Physical Therapy. Oh my gosh, Jane's Physical Therapy. Oh, wow. This guy is just growing like gangbusters. We're looking for 4 to 8. Hold on. I got to get my breath. 4 to 8 physical therapists in the New Orleans area, South Shore, West Bank, North Shore, all the shores. Get a hold of us at janespt.com. That's JAYNESPT.com, and be sure to apply there. Or you can always get us on LinkedIn, Jane's Physical Therapy, and then you can contact me, yours truly. I am so looking forward to talking to you, and oh my gosh, you guys really have been reaching out. So come on, let's talk. And we will be sure to get you in contact with Casey Janes. He is amazing. Go watch his show. And another sponsor, whoa my gosh, Klein's Jewelry. Mark Klein and his family are legends in the Houston area. They have an amazing jewelry business. Loose diamonds, Rolexes. Gosh, I get this wrong, but I just think it's funny. If you're getting a house, celebrating your house, or in the doghouse, hey, go to Klein's Jewelry. And they're amazing, though. Just incredible jewelers. Been in the Houston area since 1969, and they embody the phrase that timeless elegance never loses its shine. So go to the website on the screen and get in touch with Mark and everybody, all of the experts, the diamond experts at Klein's Jewelers. They're amazing. Get a hold of them. Now, without further ado, let's get on with the show. Appreciate you, and we'll see you on the backdraft. Bye-bye. Guys, welcome to the show. Had some technical difficulties. You know what? We're doing this. This is just so great. Listen, my guest today, Dr. Layne Martin. He not only is a Navy vet, not only is he heading a company with other vets, he's developed a sleeping device, I'll say, commonly referred to as a pillow, that is really revolutionary and revolutionizing, right? It's when I saw the design of this, I said, my goodness, I do the same thing, but I have to use $1,000 worth of pillows, to create the same thing I could get here with one. And I'm so excited to introduce you to Dr. Layne Martin. Dr. Layne, welcome to Work Your Career Wednesday.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me. Super excited. When you and I spoke the other day, I said, I'm new to this. I'm kind of lecturing. I'm talking on podcasts. I'm getting interviewed. It's super fun. I never thought I would be in the situation I'm in, being able to meet great people like you and Steven and kind of go around the country and kind of spread our message is super fun.
Oh man, we're really honored to have you. Gosh, when we spoke the other day and you were telling me so many things about gosh, the impact lack of sleep has. That, and we're going to get into that, but I was just blown away, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But my goodness, so not only open air pillow, you also created, I think, the sleeping device that I use.
It's probably one of them. Yeah.
Well, to mitigate snoring. It's a mouthpiece. Like, it kind of reminds me when I used to box, just with a little, you know,
Yeah.
and but it's fantastic, and that's helped. But oh my God, I'm blown away by this pillow. Everybody, welcome Dr. Layne Martin. You're amazing.
Thanks, man.
Well,
Yeah. So
with the Inventor series that we're doing, gosh, I really put you guys up there. You guys are like artists, right? And there's a lot of things that you guys have to go through and you have to deal with, and I want to get into that. But let's talk about open air pillow real quick, right at the top, because everybody needs to know about this. What made you even decide that you're going to design this thing?
So, like you said, my partner and I developed a mouthpiece. We just got FDA cleared a month ago. Really, it was out of necessity. So, when I discuss snoring and sleep apnea, I always equate it to things like diabetes. Diabetes is really an incurable disease. So is snoring and sleep apnea in adults. And what do we do with diabetes? You mitigate symptoms, whether it's insulin diet. With snoring and sleep apnea, it's the same thing, whether it's a CPAP or oral appliance like we developed, or things like Inspire, which is the hypoglossal nerve stimulation. The problem lies in the biggest failure in a lot of those other adjuncts or position. So what was happening is my friend and I were treating a mutual friend with a mouthpiece, and the guy wasn't doing well. And when I followed up on him with a sleep test, I realized that most of his episodes and most of his problems is when he was on his back, which a lot of us roll on our back. But no one stays on your back, because if you snore or have sleep apnea, your tongue falls back and you'd suffocate. So your brain tells you, all right, roll over, sit up. So my friend, who's an ear, nose, and throat doctor, would tell people to put a tennis ball in their t-shirt, or these things you can get on Amazon to prevent you from rolling on your back. But it was always strange to me, because I'm like, well, if someone rolls on a tennis ball, I feel like you'd wake up, or you'd subconsciously wake up. So I was like, well, what about a pillow? He's like, well, how would you design it? So I took a napkin out. We were out at a bar, and I drew it on the napkin. And then I brought that to a buddy that I met, who's also a Navy veteran, who specialized in 3D printing. He printed me a miniature version of it. Then we printed a big plastic version of it. And then I learned how to make pillows. And that's kind of how the product evolved. And really, if you spoke to me years ago about this, you know, I was in the Navy. I got out. I became a dentist in Manhattan on Fifth Avenue. I was treating celebrities. It was awesome. And I ended up selling my practice to go back to do orthodontics to treat snoring and sleep apnea in kids and adults. And that's kind of how it evolved to where I am today. The pillow was just something where everyone's already sleeping on a pillow. Everyone doesn't have the luxury, Brad, to go to the doctor and the dentist, but everyone's already sleeping on a pillow. And we were discussing it the other day. When people ask me my vision, I'm like, that's easy. I'm going to change the sleep industry. And people are like, what do you mean? I said, well, why does a pillow need to be square or rectangular? It doesn't. And we were talking about BASF and BAS, that audio tape. They never made new products. They just made things better. That's kind of our principle, is like, hey, we just made a pillow better.
BASF.
Yeah.
Man, that's so cool. That is so cool. Well, when I saw the design of it, of open air pillow, I was like, I was shocked, man. I'm telling you, because you know what you've developed with that sort of Allen wrench looking shape. that's exactly the way I have to position myself to sleep, and sometimes, I mean, I hate to say it, and my wife hates this. My wife hates this. But sometimes, because I'm in so much pain, from car accidents and, performing when I was a musician and jumping, I injured my back. Sometimes I have to sleep on the couch because the couch will support me, right? And
Yeah.
she absolutely hates it. And truth be told, I hate it too. I can't stand it. But, you got to do what you got to do. One thing, though, that got me, and I was going to mention this later, but I just have to mention this, man. When we were talking, and you said, you know what, Brad, listen, lack of sleep, studies have shown, is one of the contributors to Alzheimer's. That got me straight in the gut because, I make my living talking, researching, studying. You know what I mean? Like, you can't do a show without knowing what you're talking about, right? One of the great things about this is that I get to learn so much from so many great people. But when you told me that, and knowing that there's a lot of times I feel like I'm only operating with 70%, 60%. And it doesn't matter what I eat, doesn't matter what vitamins I take, it boils down to how much sleep did you get? And that hit, can you touch on that? I want it to be, it's one thing hearing it from me. Gosh, can you tell the audience about that and how important sleep is?
So, I mean, you hit it on the head, and I really need to explain. I love what I'm doing now, but
Yeah.
I have learned from some incredible mentors. My business partner being one of them, Michael Gelb, who's a famous TMJ and airway specialist. I've read a lot from Matthew Walker, who to me is like the pioneer on sleep. And when I did my fellowship in airway and sleep at Tufts, they would always talk about these different comorbidities, and there is nothing that affects our body more than your airway and sleep. And airway is kind of what I talk about. I mean, people a lot of times, especially in dentistry now, sleep apnea, snoring, it's a hot topic, but it's really an airway issue. It's really being able to breathe properly. And most of us don't breathe properly. It's all about nasal patency, breathing, able to breathe through your nose. And really, a lot of the research I did when I got into this was with kids with ADD, ADHD. I would even say some kids on the spectrum. And really what happens is, in our society, whether in the healthcare system, we treat symptoms. I made a living for 15 years just treating symptoms. And I never addressed problems. And I think we need to create a paradigm shift across the board in healthcare to start really fixing problems. So when I talk to parents now, and I'll get to the point about Alzheimer's and other comorbidities, but the fact is, in kids, all these kids are getting diagnosed with ADD, ADHD. I think a lot of those kids they're not getting oxygen to their brain. I was one of those kids, right? I was a sick kid that became a sick adult. And what happens is we just throw meds at these kids, right? Give them stimulants and amphetamines. That's not the right answer. And then in adults, it's brain fog. In kids, it's ADD, ADHD. In adults, it's brain fog. And then eventually leading to things like Alzheimer's and other comorbidities. So I think it's super important to address these things. As being involved in orthodontics, I'm always about like trying to intervene early. And seeing these kids and talking to parents, and no child should snore. That's a whole other thing. And that could be a whole other podcast that I could spend 4 or 5 hours talking about. The pillow was just an adjunct to help so many of these people stay on their side. Really, the best position is to sleep on your side. It's the same thing we do in CPR, the rescue position, when you turn someone on their side. That's the premise. So really, you should sleep on your left side if you have issues with high blood pressure or acid reflux or silent reflux, or you're always having to clear your throat. And then the right side, if you have cardiovascular comorbidities.
I'm taking notes. I think I'm serious.
So am I.
I'm serious. I mean, anybody
I'm writing on my pad too, because I don't want to forget stuff. But I love that. And you know, the other thing for what I did, you know, I never get on stage and lecture, or when I go to offices, I'm never like, hey, look at these amazing cases I did. I will show failures all day, because I screwed this up for 15 years until someone pointed it out to me. You don't know what you don't know. And then one of the best slides I have in every PowerPoint I give is the FedEx logo, because someone pointed out to me years ago the white arrow between the E and the X.
Right. It's like, I've never seen that before. That's all you see.
That's all I see. So when I go and I lecture to dentists and I teach them about this, I just put pictures up and I show people with worn down teeth and are grinding and all these other kind of comorbidities. I'm like, these are airway problems. I missed this. Don't make the mistake I made. Do better than what I did.
So you're saying you screwed up for 15 years by not addressing the airway problem?
I didn't know about it. Right. You don't know what you don't know.
I want to make this point crystal clear. Top of the show. You know, you said BASF, we don't make things, we just make things better. Right. I want to make it really clear and obvious. Number one, the quality of the pillow is superb. The fabric is absolutely fantastic. It's been tested, and retested. It's going for, you have the patent, you get the utility patent, and you're going for FDA, right? Here's
not
the deal.
For the pillow.
Or not for the
mouthpiece. The mouthpiece got FDA cleared.
Mouthpiece FDA cleared.
Yeah.
Well, here's my point. This open air pillow, you can go to openairpillow.com. And you're getting ready to launch a few things we'll talk about. This is not marketing. This is not marketing. I want to make this so clear, crystal clear. Look, somebody can come up with an idea and say, oh, and I'm a doctor, so I'm lending credibility to this, and it's a medical thing. No. This is not marketing. This is something, and I'm telling you, for everyone's in the sound of my voice, okay, this is something that I do with 7 pillows. You understand? I'm not sleeping in the bed with my wife because I have to be on this pillow takes care of that, and in a way that is so accessible. And I want to make that clear. Dr. Layne, what do you have to say about that?
So there's a lot of pillows out there. There's pillows that kind of say they handle and address snoring and sleep apnea. There's these kind of, you know, medical devices that look like pillows or wedges. I don't want to be a therapeutic. I actually didn't want to do that. I did launch it for the fact that it was an adjunct to a lot of the other things that people were using to treat snoring and sleep apnea. That being said, it's super comfortable, and I've sleep tested people without the pillow and with the pillow and got a decrease in snoring and a decrease in apneic events. I'm not saying it's a cure for those things. I'm just saying it's going to help them. Nothing is. And, you know, the best report that I've gotten and the best feedback is I took our pillow last week. We literally launched last week at a chiropractic convention, because chiropractors, a lot of them sell pillows. A friend of mine was like, come to this event. We sell pillows, but I love yours. So what did I do? I bought a $40 mattress and I bought a $50 bed frame, and I set up a booth with a bed and our pillow. Mm-hmm. And I had a chiropractor the first day lie on the bed, and she was like, this is the best thing I've ever slept on. I want to buy 3 of them. And to me, what I said to her, this is the most profound thing that I'm going to say to you. You're sleeping on a $40 bed and a $50 bed frame, and you just bought a $139 pillow. And now you don't have to go buy a $5,000 mattress or a
There you
$10,000
go.
mattress.
I love that. I absolutely love that. There's something else too I'd like to talk about, but you showed me a text from someone who's dealing with what was it, stage 4? Stage 4
Stage
cancer?
3.
Stage 3.
Yeah.
And fighting that is so painful. It's so painful. There's no place, we've gone through it in my family, and there's no, you can't get comfortable. It's always a struggle, da 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 da. I saw the text. She sent you a text and saying, I'm finally getting rest. I'm telling you, the whole Alzheimer's thing with me just hit me straight in the gut. Family show, straight in the gut. because being a man, and I have to be able to do something, right? There's things that I can do very well and that I make a living at. And this part of it is using my head. And when I have brain fog, sometimes I forget things, or I'm not running at capacity. And when you said that lack of sleep contributes to Alzheimer's, it really hit me hard. And so for you to develop something like this, your whole career has been in the service of people. I want to get into this because this is an Inventor series. It's not easy. So how do you deal, and this is really for the inventors out there and artists out there, let's just be honest. We'll call them IP entrepreneurs, right? That have this thing. We all look at the big picture. And I'm an artist too, right? So when I would always look at the big picture, and I've sometimes when I was younger, I neglected the pixels that get to the big picture. The details are not something that's always our strong suit, right? What kind of struggle did you have to go through? Now, you already had the with the mouthpiece, right? You've already went through that. You went the inventing route in that. You went through the testing. You went through the patent phase. Let's be clear, it costs a lot of money. There's a lot involved in it. There ends up being a lot of moving parts. Can you give us the story sort of behind, cradle to market?
So the insanity of what I'm going to say is I basically launched both of these products at the same time. Yeah. So
oh God, you didn't tell me that.
I know.
You did not tell me that. That is insane. What,
yeah,
Layne? Incredible. I'm so proud of you.
It's either
okay, go ahead. That's nutty. Wow.
Yeah, and one of my financial partners is like, dude, like, what were we thinking? I'm like, I don't know what we were thinking. I don't know what I was thinking.
But
I think that when you and I spoke the other day, I touched on it briefly. I was really good at my job.
Yeah.
But I really hated waking up, going to work every day. And I faked it. I faked it because I think people were used to me being this upbeat, lively, fun guy. And
you're
I hit a
breaking
point.
You're treating people like me. You're treating people, you know what I mean? Like artists, right?
Yeah.
Celebrities that are walking in that, need some work done.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're on as much as they are.
Yeah. And what happened was I was walking home from work one day, and I just was very meticulous, and I would take work home, and it would wake me up in the middle of the night, and I just broke. And I was on the corner in Manhattan crying. Every time I lecture, I tell that story. And the next day I walked into my office and I told my office manager, I'm selling the practice. I'm going back to school. So just like that, at the age of 43, I'm back in school doing orthodontics. to help people like you and I that snore and have these issues. And people thought I was crazy. And then that conversation escalated when I wanted to do a mouthpiece, and then the pillow, and then people really thought I was crazy. But I will tell you this. To be able to touch 1,000 people or 1,500 people is really great. But to be able to touch 200 million people, that's freaking exciting. And I think that the capability of what we have as a group and with our pillow could do that. And I think we're going to change the sleep industry. And
why do you want to change it? Why do you want to change it? Why do you want to change it?
Because I want to educate people. I don't want to be a pillow. I don't want to be a pillow company. I don't want to be a mattress company. I want to be an educational company. And I want to be a disruptor. I want to be what Apple is. I want to be a solution company, Brad. And that's really what it is. We want to educate the consumer. And the consumer to me is the hero. And I read the book by Donald Miller about Story Brand. I think it's an amazing book. And he talks about it. I can't be the hero as the developer or the product. You're the hero. I just need to be your guide to kind of guide you in the right direction. It's the Luke Skywalker Yoda thing. Like, I want to be Yoda.
Got it. So when you're talking about 200 million people, right? There's one thing about a lot of inventors that I find amazing is that not only do you see, I think we lost Layne. Hold on, we're getting him back.
I'm here.
There we go. There we go. So not only do inventors see perhaps a hole in the market, they see things that have become status quo, and they're like, wait a minute. I'm curious, when you had your practice, were you seeing a lot of people that were dealing with airway issues? You said you were screwing up for 15 years. Okay, I get that. But when you were looking at that, were you seeing an increase? You were talking about kids. So we're seeing an increase in autism. We're seeing an increase in ADHD. We're putting them on drugs. We're putting them on this. We're putting them on that. And adults, we're putting them on this. We're putting them on, here's a vitamin. Here's a pill. Here's a device, whatever it is. Did you look at that and go, I shouldn't be seeing this many people? And did that end up kind of breaking your heart a little bit and saying, wait a minute, we got to find a solution to this?
So when I was in practice, no, because I missed these things. I didn't know about them. The way that I found out about it was that I would fix people's teeth that were grinding and clenching and were breaking down teeth. But I never understood that people that clench and grind their teeth, they have an airway problem. No one clenches and grinds their teeth unless you have a neurologic problem. It's really, you're going into fight or flight at night. And I never knew that until a mentor of mine, we would always present these big cases. It's someone I taught with. And he would always say, the person has an airway problem. And I'm like, dude, what the hell are you talking about? I just want to do my dentistry. And every time you got the patient has an airway problem, they have an airway problem. And finally, like, it was getting on my nerves. I'm like, explain it to me. And once he explained it to me, the FedEx logo, I can never unsee it. And I realized that I missed it for so long. And I think across the board in dentistry, I mean, I made night guards for patients all the time, right? Everyone here and everyone I talk to, especially across in dentistry, everyone makes night guards. Why does someone make a night guard? Someone's clenching and grinding. If I ask the layperson like you, why would someone grind their teeth? You're going to tell me stress.
Man, yeah, that's what I thought.
But it's stress from suffocating. So the best analogy I can give you is if you're speeding on the highway in Houston and you see a cop on the side of the road, what happens to your body when you see the cop? Your heart rate goes up, your blood pressure goes up and you clench down, you go into fight or flight. So think about how crappy that feels for those 20 seconds that you're like, oh my God, I'm going to get pulled over by the cop. Well, guess what? If you have an airway problem or sleep apnea, that could be happening 200 times a night, Brad.
Oh my
And that's why people are breaking teeth. That's why they're grinding and clenching. I'm not saying that our pillow is going to cure clenching and grinding, but it's definitely going to help a lot of these people sleep better and hopefully mitigate a lot of those other symptoms, because it's a cascade of events that eventually leads to that. Like someone the other day is like, wait, I slept on the pillow. It's amazing. I almost felt like I wasn't, like my jaw felt better. Like, could it help people with TMJ problems? I'm like, absolutely. And they're like, what do you mean? And exactly what I just explained to you, I explained to her. And she was like, oh my God, that's amazing.
You know, there are different kind of panic attacks, right? There's ones where, you know, it's neurologic, but the body goes into, you ever get into a situation where you just feel strange, like your body's panicking, but you don't understand like what's going on because you're fine, but your body feels funny. I mean, it could. If you're doing that at night and your body is in fight or flight or panic mode, oh my gosh.
Well,
you know, when you sleep, the body repairs itself.
Which is a great, great point. And so when you go to sleep at night, there's two parts of your nervous system. There's the sympathetic,
okay,
and then the parasympathetic. So the parasympathetic is rest and digest. That's when we digest food. That's when you go to sleep. But if you are in fight or flight, what happens is it depletes oxygen from a lot of other body parts, because your priority is to breathe and stay alive. So that's why a lot of these people are suffering from acid reflux. Again, something I missed. Every one of my patients was on Nexium or Prilosec. So
sure, absolutely.
Could our pillow help people with acid reflux? Absolutely. One, it'll keep them in a better position. And two, hopefully it'll keep them with their airway open.
Layne.
So, yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. My wife
please.
is check this out, man. So my wife, she had 2013, she had a tumor on her stomach, right? And by the time they got her in, it wrapped around, it was very fast growing. It was benign, thank God, but it wrapped around her esophagus. You know where I'm going with this. A third of her stomach, 2 inches of her esophagus. And if you think about it, you know, your esophagus is only this big. I mean, it's not very big, you know what I mean? Maybe I'm, you know, exaggerating, but it's not very big. So now she's on PPIs. And not only that, there was, I guess 6 months, a year ago, whatever it was, she was sleeping. And because like she has to have her esophagus stretched. So I think she had just had that done. Anyway, the acid went up and she inhaled, she aspirated on that stomach acid, caused a whole lot of problems for about 2 months. So she's had to sleep in certain ways, right? In order to mitigate those symptoms, you know, that very real thing that she has to deal with. As you're talking, I'm thinking, oh my God, my wife could use this. Oh my gosh. Now it makes, I mean, my cardiologist, I've had him on the show, Dr. Tavakali. I think I got to get you guys together. I really do. Dr. Tavakali is one of the most renowned cardiologists in the nation. We'll talk offline about that. But he talks to me all the time about, you know, sleep and how it affects heart disease. You know, why people have heart attacks, because you're not getting oxygen to the body. I mean,
so
look,
think
man,
about it. I look at sleep tests every day.
Yeah.
And I look at people's oxygen desaturation, and I see numbers of like 87%, 88%. If you and I right now held our breath for a minute,
yeah,
we couldn't go below 93 or 94.
Right.
So think about that statistic. And then
gosh, man,
that's the type of strain it puts on your heart. So when I see patients are on multiple meds for blood pressure, automatically in my mind, and I'm not saying every patient has sleep apnea, but I think a lot of those patients are doing that because there's no way for their blood pressure to get controlled like that. Right. So the fact is, what do? We just keep throwing meds at it, or we give someone a CPAP, or my thing is always like, why is that happening? It's the same thing. Like, I have a good friend who's a gastroenterologist. So I was always like, why does someone has acid reflux? Well, they get, acid in their esophagus.
Right.
But I'm like, but why? That's not answering the question of why that's occurring. And I think that I was exposed to so many great pulmonologists, ENTs, people that really taught me. And it's a never ending battle now to keep learning. I think that I got to a certain point. I'm learning every day. I think we all need to be better every day. And I think the pillow was just something I thought about, that I was like, all right, you know what? I think we could do better and help a lot of other people that are suffering like me. And the question you asked before about like the long nights and is it worth doing it? And I have to tell you, it's like I've kind of gone full circle in my life. I got out of the Navy. I moved to Manhattan with $2,020 in my bank account, and I put my name up on the door and crossed my fingers. And I think if I knew then what I know now, there's no way I would have done it. I just didn't know better. And now I've kind of almost done the same thing. We're self-funding 2 startups. And I just sold my Jeep Wrangler to pay for like our first run of pillows, because I was like, all right, we got to do this. We got to make it happen. I want to think big. I want to change this industry, and I think we could do it.
Guys, we're here with Dr. Mark Layne, inventor of Open Air Pillow. I am so, we're going to get this into everybody's hands we possibly can. And we have to move now, period. Guys, stick with us. We're going to be right back with more of Dr. Layne Martin, and just stay with us. We'll be right back.
Jane's Physical Therapy has immediate openings for full-time and part-time positions. For home healthcare physical therapists and physical therapy assistants, we are actively looking in the New Orleans and Lafayette areas. Call Bradley Clark at 713-364-8777. Join us at Jane's Physical Therapy, and let's help Louisiana get back to living life.
Guys, welcome back. We are here with Inventor. Inventor, okay? Dr. Layne Martin. I don't know about you guys. I am so excited about this product. I'm excited about him. I'm excited about the fact that this company is veteran owned, okay? Dr. Layne, he is a Navy veteran. His partner's an Air Force veteran. He's beginning, I think you're talking to Wounded Warrior Project. That's happening. We got other things going on. The goal for him, and I don't know if we talked about it, let you talk about it, I'm just so excited to let you, is to get this pillow in every active service member and every veteran's hands. That is one heck of a feat. I think with you and I partnering, okay, everyone watching this, if you're listening to this in your car, if you're watching us on YouTube or Spotify, wherever this is being played right now, you and I can help make this happen. Everyone needs these products. Listen, and that's no joke, no lie, no, that's not marketing. It's just a plain and simple fact. Dr. Layne, offline, we were talking about, man, give me, what has inspired you, man? Like, what is it? Because you have just excited me about the possibilities of really helping people. You know, maybe this pillow is going to help me not have Alzheimer's. Maybe this is why we're talking. Maybe, I don't know. But I'm so excited about it. Man, give us the story, brother. I want to know what's your inspiration.
So, I was exposed to this, like I said, but from one of my mentors who pointed out to me that a lot of the patients that I was seeing had an airway problem. And I treated a friend of mine and who had broken teeth and his teeth were worn down, and he ended up passing away at the age of 40. Two young kids, and he had sleep apnea. And the problem is, Brad, snoring sleep apnea, it's not on a death certificate. What's on a death certificate? Congestive heart failure, myocardial infarction. But so many of those people have it. And even when I was in my ortho program, and I always put these pictures up in my lecture because it's something that hits home. I get a call from a friend when I'm in my ortho program, and at that point I'm like, man, I'm going to be this airway orthodontist and I'm going to save the world and I'm going to do all these heroic things. And I got a call that another patient of mine who was 50 passed away. And the problem was, when I treated this other guy, at that point, I was already trained in airway and sleep. And I knew the guy had sleep apnea when I treated him. And I told him to go get a sleep test, and he never went.
Oh.
And now he's gone. And I think that day I realized that if it happened in my office to that guy, it's happening in every dental office in the country. And the unique thing about dentists, and it's great, I collaborate so much with physicians. It's such an amazing collaboration. People see their dentist a lot of times more than they see their physician. And it's a captive audience for people that are going to get their teeth cleaned or going to get dental care, because I missed it. I missed it for a long time as a dentist. And I think that when I go and teach dentists, it's very simple. You see people that have worn down teeth or they have wear on their front teeth, they have an airway problem. I don't know if they have sleep apnea. I don't know the extent of it, but something's having them compensate by doing those things. We just need to look at it differently and treat it differently. And it's something, like I said, that I missed as a dentist. And now that I got trained in orthodontics and trying to really help mitigate a lot of those symptoms, it's really about education. So as much as I love a pillow and I love our company, we're an educational company. We're a solution company to help people sleep better. And I think that for me, it hits home for a lot of reasons. My father definitely has sleep apnea now. He lost weight, and a lot of men, we gain weight in our throat and our neck and base of tongue.
Yeah.
I was snoring significantly 2 years ago, and people wouldn't look at me. I'm a fit guy. I work out all the time. It stems from a lot of issues, and this is a whole other topic, but I was a sick kid because I wasn't breastfed as a kid. I grew up eating mush Gerber baby food, and I had crappy orthodontics as a kid. And it was even evident because I was sick. I had allergies all the time. I was really small. I was 5'2" up until 12th grade of high school. So when I see kids now that are 12, 11, and they look like they're 5 or 6, they're not producing growth hormone. And what do? We're like, all right, well, now you need to see an endocrinologist and get hormone injections or growth hormone. I think we need to look at things differently across the board in healthcare. And that's where I feel like I really could flourish, is educating consumers.
As you're talking, I'm thinking about, well, my wife's a teacher, right? And I don't know, growing up, she sees a lot of that, like under, I mean, affluent families, they're not hurting for anything. It's not like they're they're starving or anything. But some of them, man, they're not producing the growth hormone. I didn't think of that, man. I'm not a physician. I'm not a dentist, And I was wondering about, it's like kids these days look so much younger than they did when we were growing up, right? And so I wonder if there's different things, different mitigating factors, if you want to say it like that. We can go through the schedule, right? For a newborn, how that's ineffective or I don't know. That's not what we're talking about. The point is that, to your point, if you got a 12-year-old that looks like they're a lot younger than that, they're not producing something. And why is that? And all we're doing is throwing drugs at it when there could be other solutions. I love that. I love the fact that you're that's where your heart is. When I was saying this earlier, it's like, this pillow, this isn't marketing, man. When we talked the other day, we talked a little bit about that. I was kind of probing a little bit to see, come on, man, is this, this is a good marketing technique. It's not marketing, man. Like, this is real, and your story, and I want people to really understand your heart. I think a lot of, and I talked to Dr. Tavakli about this, and this is what he told me. I asked him what kind of advice he would give to people that are med students or wanting to, and this is what he said: because of the bureaucracy that's out there right now in the sort of the medical industrial complex, if you will, he said, I would tell them, if they could do anything else, do that. You have to deal with so many insurance companies. You have to deal with so many, whatever, blah, 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 blah. I'd like to get your thoughts on that. But at the same time, you're not walking away from medicine. You are giving people the ultimate backstage pass in what they need to know, and letting them know how important these little aspects are, like sleep, right? We're so go, 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 go. We're so, we got to make money. We got to do this. We got to do that. And da, 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 da. And oh man, I got this meeting. I got to go to Europe. I got to go to this. I got to do that. But if there's no you, the show's over. I love the fact that your heart is so good. Yeah, look, this is going to be highly successful. Lots of money is going to be made. But the pain it takes to get to that point, it takes a special person for that. You were telling me about some books you read, and the John Maxwell course we were talking about. But before we go there, what are your thoughts on that? Because I love Dr. T, but that was one heck of a thing to say. Are there still good people in medicine that are new?
There's amazing people in medicine, and there's really motivated people. It's like in any field, Brad, right? There's people that do what you do that are doing it for the wrong reasons. There's people that do what I do that are doing it for the wrong reasons. I think people can get frustrated when you look at other people. I think for me, visualizing where I want to be and what I want to do has been helpful. I think that we all get stuck looking at other people and comparing yourselves to other people. And especially for me, I gave up a really good salary to go back to school and do this. And yeah, there's some long nights, and there's some long days, and there's some pain points, and pressure to kind of make this thing work. And when you have other people on your team that are banking on you, that's tough. And I think that we were discussing it. Amazon, when my financial partner approached me on it, I said, Amazon's been around for 25 years, and they probably didn't turn profit till about year 14. Mm-hmm. And Jeff Bezos was in his garage selling books. That guy changed the world as we know it. And you brought up John Maxwell's book. I don't think everyone could do this. I think it's not for the faint of heart. And John says something so profound. People want to do what you do, but do they want to do what you did? And man, that
sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, if it was easy, everyone would do it. and it's not easy. And when I did that training with Bo Eason about like coaching and CEOs and telling my story, that was life-changing to me. It was life-changing for a lot of different reasons. Because he would always say, go in the opposite direction of everyone else. He would also say, he's like, when you walk in a Starbucks, I want people to not be able to look away.
That's right.
The most profound thing he said, Brad, stop apologizing for being the best.
Say it again. Say it.
Stop apologizing for being the best. I spent my whole life apologizing.
Gosh,
it's not
man,
my
me too,
fault
bro.
That I worked harder than other people.
Right.
Other people have the choice to work hard. That's a decision they make. It's
That's right.
the same thing, the book Relentless. I love that book, and Bo recommended it. And Tim, the author, is amazing. I just saw him speak, and it's talking about, you're at the gym. Do you work out for 5 minutes or do you work out for 50 minutes? That's a choice you make. But when you want to be the best and you want to be great at something, you got to work your ass off. No one's born with, hey, you were born with this talent. That's bullshit. Right? Michael Jordan got cut from his high school basketball team.
Right.
Guy's the greatest basketball player to ever live.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you recently saw Mike Tyson.
Amazing.
I mean,
that guy, and Customato, who was really a father figure and kind of mentor for him, he told him, he's like, you're going to be the best heavyweight to ever live. And that's what he would do.
Well, but look at what Cuss had to go through to get to Mike Tyson. I mean, Cuss had how many titles did Cuss have under his belt with his fighters? I can't remember.
I'm not sure.
I think it was several. And I mean, in boxing, several means like 3,
Yeah.
But Cuss's what Cuss did with Mike, and that instilled that work ethic. And sometimes we don't recognize what it was until later, until we're outside of the ring. But you know what? With people like you, people like Mike Tyson, Michael Jordan, people like me, we may be out of the sport, but we're never out of the arena. Teddy Roosevelt, one of my favorite presidents. You got to be the man in the arena. And if you're not willing to take the hits and you're not willing to take what it takes to get there, then you know what? Go find a clock to punch. I hate to say it like that, but just do something else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And when I first started lecturing and got up in front of people, I was terrified. I was like, I can't do this. I don't want to do it. And
man, what you did in New Orleans, you had people coming up to you. I mean, we're talking seasoned physicians crying.
Yeah, I really never experienced anything like that. And I think
that's how important your story is, though, bro. I'm sorry, Layne, not Dr. Layne. That's how important your story is. That's how important it is. When people can feel that, all of us, here's a saying here's one of my favorite sayings, right? When we're talking about this, everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. And when it comes to that portion, that drive, it's like for some people, I don't know, for the most successful people like you and every, it's never about the paper. It's always about changing the world. How can we help? How can we serve? Right? Everybody that I've ever known, including myself, that went through that paper chase, you know what I mean? All about money, 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 money. Look, man, to be everything takes money, right? Because it just does. That's the world we live in, and I'm good with that. But are you willing to do the things to do in order to earn that money? You know what I mean? Everything takes it. But when you're, that's your sole focus, man, it runs from you so quickly. Like it's like Usain Bolt, like money turns into Usain Bolt and it ain't running towards you. But the moment that you say, wait a minute, I've experienced this. Okay, my friend, I had a patient die at 50. I missed it. I had a this and that. What can I do? Oh my gosh, I never thought of that. Airway, how can we help that? Man, I'm telling you, brother. I'm telling you. I mean, I'm pretty positive that what you've created is really going to help both me and my wife. It was funny. You sent me that picture from your website, and it had the man and the woman sleeping, and the way the pillows were is it kind of framed them, right?
Yeah.
And I thought, when I looked at that, I'm man enough to tell you, bro, I was a little emotional because I thought, oh my gosh, Erica deals with so much, dude. She is a medical odyssey, Layne. I'm telling you. Endometriosis, the list goes on and on. And the one thing that she needs to be able to, she works with kids, she works with autistic kids, she works, the lives that she's been able to change have been remarkable. And sometimes she goes to work and she hasn't slept well. You know what I mean? She's one of the most brilliant people I've ever known. Like, and I'm not even, she's incredibly intelligent, so brilliant, helps so many people, and she's suffering. It kills me, man. And I love what you're doing. I love what you're doing. I just want to hit the point home. Guys, listen, we are here with Inventor and Dr. Layne Martin. Open air pillow. If you don't have one, get ready because you're going to be able to get one. We're going to be right back here with the inventor of open air pillow, Dr. Layne Martin. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Attention lawyers. Are you tired of wasting thousands of dollars in billboards, magazines, and more with little results? If so, we can help you save big. Did you know that a powerful video can be used on practically any platform and get you more clients than just one billboard alone? Visit our website at whitehuskyfilms.com. Call or text us today to receive a limited time offer.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. We're here with Inventor, Dr. Layne Martin. Now, got to remember this, okay, guys? He invented something called Airvada, which helps with snoring and sleep apnea. And what we've been talking about mostly today, open air pillow. You're going to be able to go to their website, openairpillow.com. You can find them on Instagram and Facebook. Go to Dr. Layne Martin. Man, I'm so honored that you came on today, and I'm so happy that people are going to be able to learn from you. This is a really big deal. What's the main objection you get when, let me ask it like this. This is better. When I started this show, if you can visualize a mattress, right? And you're telling people, hey, I got this show, I got this idea, what do you think? Oh, it's going to cost a lot of money. Man, do you think you'll be able to get the guests? I mean, yeah, that was never a real big problem. Do you think you'll be able to get people to watch? Why are they going to watch you? Blah, blah, blah. And it felt like there was layer upon layer that were up against me. And these are people I loved. These people were friends, and I don't think they meant any harm. I don't think they meant to be malicious. I just think they were trying to look out for me, right? But at the same time, they've never done anything that was a risk, right? There's never, with no risk, there's no reward, right? For every inventor out there, for every artist out there, how did you, you sell a practice, you go into a new field, right? Now you're starting to invent stuff because you see people around you that are passing and they shouldn't pass. And it turns out to be airflow problems. It's like you're going past the teeth. Like this is another issue, right? What keeps you going, bro?
That's a great question. So I would tell you the excitement of being able to touch that many people and help that many people out is what really keeps me going. I think that I only know to think big. I think that my career could have been very different. I knew that I was like, I want to be the best, no matter what it is. So when I got to Manhattan, I researched like where are the best dentists in Manhattan, and they were within like a certain radius, a couple of blocks and avenues, and I started pounding the pavement and looking for a space in that area, and I built my practice. We were talking about it before, from scratch in Manhattan, like really unheard of, and probably crazy. I would never do it again knowing what I know now. And the same thing lies with our mouthpiece, our pillow. I actually never wanted to develop a mouthpiece, Brad. I just looked at these other mouthpieces and I'm like, man, these things are not great.
Right.
They're not comfortable. You have to get into bed and be comfortable. Yeah. That's kind of how our mouthpiece came about. My business partner is an incredible dentist, pioneer. Him and his father are pioneers in TMJ treatment and airway. And we use their intellectual property, my orthodontic background now, and we just developed the Airvada, this awesome mouthpiece. It's super unique. You could wear the bottom by itself. It's super comfortable. That was kind of how that came about. The pillow came about because the failures on the mouthpiece and CPAP and these other treatments were positioned. The alternatives were a tennis ball and a t-shirt like we were talking about, things on Amazon, or a better pillow, which everyone's already sleeping on.
Right. And if it were me, I would be thinking system, right? Because these things work together, right? You think about
and people have approached me on that. They're like, "Oh my God, create a system, the mouthpiece and the pillow," which sounds like a great idea. The problem lies in that everyone doesn't have the luxury to go to the doctor and the dentist, or people might not go. But people are already sleeping on a pillow. So
let's start there.
It's already there, and people are like, well, what's your target audience? That's a really hard question to answer. I know you need a target group, especially when you're going to marketing, you're looking at advertising certain things. I would tell you it's every child and adult. Now, obviously, it needs to be a little bit more dialed in than that, but it's people that care about their health, people that care about wellness, people that want to sleep better, function better, perform better. I mean, listen, I could talk about, hey, you want to have better sex? There you go. Sleep on our pillow.
How about people with Eno and Cepha? What does she have? Esophageal, I don't know, whatever. The thing that my wife has. Yeah, it's not
acid
that.
reflux.
It's
esophagitis.
esophageal esophagitis. How about people with heart disease? How about people that don't want to get those things? It's if there's ways to open up your airways and prevent those things, or help prevent it, or help mitigate those symptoms, whatever it is, everyone within the sound of my voice needs to get this pillow. Highly recommend the mouthpiece Airvada as well. Guys, everybody go. There's so many more questions I want to ask. And I think we'll ask them. I will be seeing you, sir, for a very special Work Your Career Wednesday on the road. And we'll be in New Orleans, and we're gonna see the pillows, we're gonna see the Airvada. We'll have maybe even a more in-depth conversation. But not for nothing, everybody within the sound of my voice, hop on this Airvada open air pillow. Um, just you need to get it. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. I cannot wait to meet you in New Orleans. We're gonna have a great time, and I can't wait to really move more and get more in depth on everything. Bro, we covered so much today. I don't want to end this, but I also want to keep some things for New Orleans. So, so I don't know. But Dr. Layne, I got to tell you how much I appreciate you, how much I appreciate your heart. Um, any final closing comments for the audience today?
I'm really, really grateful to meet people like you, to meet people like Steven, to be able to share my message, my story with all of your listeners, I think is incredible. I think my career, we were just talking about, it could have been very different. And I never would have thought I'd be kind of sharing my story or being on podcasts or being up in front of people. I was, a dentist in a practice in Manhattan.
Well, and I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm cutting you off again, but I want people to understand this. You sold your practice. We're talking, you didn't have to invest, what you're investing in this. We're talking like millions of dollars. You walked away from a very successful dental practice to be an inventor. I mean, you're putting your own, you don't have to do this. You know what I mean? It's kind of like people that run for office or get into certain things like I don't know, almost altruistic or philanthropic, rather I want to say. And it just happens to be a product that'll make money. You didn't have to do this. You could have been living quite well off the interest.
Yeah.
Put it that way. I mean,
for sure. But I think that, like anyone that I think sells very successful businesses, and I've spoken to some of those people, people need a purpose. And I think for me, I'm really fortunate that I have a purpose now.
Yeah.
I have the capacity to be able to do it. I think that I have the capacity to touch a lot more people's lives than I did in private practice.
Yeah.
And I think we have a great product. And it's hard. It's hard for someone like me that is OCD, perfectionist, one of these people that strive to be the best and better every day, to launch a product. And our co-CEO has always told me that. Because what do? People like you and I, we can get 100 reviews and 99 of them will be amazing. And the one that's negative, we focus on that. And it's so hard to not do that. It drives me crazy because the other day I got a list of people that gave us a review to the point of the one I showed you, or these other people that said, I've never slept on anything like this. This thing's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, people, the pillowcase comes on there. We're going to obviously have a silk pillowcase and a cotton percale. The pillowcase that's on there now is amazing. It's not silk. So people, that's what one of the people said. They're like, man, this thing is incredible. I just would want maybe like a different pillowcase. So now I'm like, oh my God. All right, now we're going to have to do this. And my co-CEO is like, Layne, you're not going to make every single person happy. We have an incredible product that's going to change the sleep industry. Like, we're going to get there.
Did you see the 99 that it's perfect the way it is? Did you see those? Yeah. But dude, I totally get that. I'm going to tell you this. Here's a good one too. I got a review one time from a UK music journal or whatever, like Rolling Stone, right? And my album was out. Now you got to bear in mind, we were doing great. 8-song album. I had 3 on the radio and one with a bullet, right? They write this article that was less than praising, like, oh my God. And you know what? I can almost quote the last paragraph word for word. It made me so mad But then again, when I went back into the studio, I mean, we're talking, tens of thousands of reviews, comments. We're selling this thing. Everybody's having, but it's that one I will never forget as long as I live. It is that one. Okay, well, I thought we were going to end it, but how do you deal with that? Like, that's a big thing. And I'm not asking even for the audience. I'm not asking for an inventor. I'm not asking for the artist. I'm asking for me. How do you deal with that?
So I have to take a step back and be thoughtful of what we're doing, the amount of people that we could help, and learn from it. Just like I did as a dentist when things failed, just like I did in orthodontics when things didn't go right, or even our appliance. There's a reason that Apple and the iPhone is on version 15. Right. And I think our product this is our V2. I made our V1. I didn't know how to make pillows. I just figured it out. Now we have an industrial designer. We have a pattern maker. We have a team around us that made this thing better, but it's only going to keep getting better based on feedback. And that's where I think we need to be as an entrepreneur. I need to listen to it very differently, because that's what we're going to get. All the feedback isn't going to be great. We have a great pillowcase on there now that's machine washable. It comes with a pillowcase. There's no pillows that come with a pillowcase. Now, there's going to be people that love it. There's going to be people that might not like it. And our thing is, you have 100 days to try it. If you don't like the pillow, we will give you your money back, and you could donate the pillow to a friend, preferably a veteran that doesn't sleep well, or anyone that doesn't sleep well. That's kind of what our brand is. We want to help everyone. We want to get the feedback, and we want to create the best products to help people sleep better.
Dr. Layne, you are an inspiration. Could have sat back on that money. Could have sat back right on that and had a, you know what I mean? Stress-free. It could have been, what property am I investing in today? But you didn't. You put your money where your heart is. And I love that. And everybody needs to go right now. openairpillow.com. Maybe by the time we air it, maybe, I don't know, maybe my listeners could get, I don't know. I'm just asking for them, but go there. It doesn't matter. Pay full price. Get 5 of them.
Well, you know what?
3 of them.
I will tell you this. You could put it in the link. We're doing friends and family for another 10 days. So by the time this airs, put in our friends and family code. They will get $40 off for the pillow.
$40 off.
Yeah. So it's the code is the friends and family code is capital OAP FNF
FN, like Frank
FNF,
Nancy.
friends and family -04.
When we get our promo code, it's going to be shorter than that. But that's
hey, that's what my co-CEO...
That looks like a license plate.
Well, my co-CEO gave me that, and I'm like, all right, he's in charge of our website, and he's like, this is the code. That's what I had to share.
So we're talking Oscar Alpha Peter F Friends Nancy Friends -04.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Dr. Layne, you're the best. You're an inspiration. I can't wait till next month. We're going to see you in New Orleans. And thank you so much for coming on today. It's been a huge honor. Had a lot of fun. You're welcome, man. Thank you. Thanks. Now for everybody, within the sound of my voice, again, go openairpillow.com. Get this pillow. Use the promo code OAPFNF-04. It's a long promo code, but use it. OAPFNF-04 for your $40 off. This pillow is worth. It's going to change your life and help Dr. Layne change and flip it over. I'll tell you like this. This is what you're going to do, Dr. Layne. You're going to flip the sleep industry on the cool side of the pillow. That's what you're going to do. Guys, go over there. Follow him on Facebook, Dr. Layne Martin, Instagram, Open Air Pillow. All the links are going to be in the description. Guys, look, for everybody at Work Your Career Wednesday, everybody at White Husky Films, Jane's Physical Therapy, Klein's Jewelry here in Houston, and Open Air Pillow. Everybody, listen, we love you and God bless you. And let his face shine upon you and give you great peace. Be excellent to yourself and each other. Get that new pillow. It's going to change your life. Talk to you guys soon. See you next week. Bye-bye.
White Husky Films. Dream, create, record. We create ads and promos for your business. We can promote your video on television, Facebook, YouTube, Hulu, and more. We do a full Google SEO analysis for you with any plan. Call us today at 305-744-1444 or visit our website at whitehuskyfilms.com. White Husky Films. You'll be glad you did.
Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. Hey, if you like Work Your Career Wednesday and want to be notified every single time we have a new episode, like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Smash it. Get a hammer and get it. And
Yeah, that's fine.
Too much?
No, that's fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I love it. People want.
Do you hear Steven in the background? I was just making sure I'm going to be okay. But get that notification going. And hey, we will be letting you know, or I guess YouTube will be letting you know, when the next Work Your Career Wednesday is on. So make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Man, ding it, ring it, sling it, and bo-bang it. All right? And we will see you soon. Work Your Career Wednesday. Oh, great. I'm glad you stopped by. Be sure to get that subscription bell, and I'll see you there.